Now that's a lot of damage!
Yo, what's going on YouTube? So the June here. Now we back at it with another build video. Now today's build video, we're going to be going over Jane with her melee. Now you guys seen it in the beginning clip, man. Her melee is insane and it does a lot of damage. So we're going to be going over it in today's video. So before we get into it, if you guys are not, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to turn on post notifications so there's a video and always be notified. And most importantly, make sure you guys hit that like button. So without further ado, let's get into the build video.
Damn, homie, they ain't ready for this. Scared a shot, I'm working, hurt them worse than slitting your wrist. Hit subscribe, smash like, ring the bell, stay tuned. Now without further ado, here's the duel of June. Yeah.
Alright, so before we get into the build video, I want to let you guys know this now that mostly my gear does come from the regular raid, so I just want to at least let you guys know this now. There's one piece that doesn't come from the raid, so you know, if you can't do the raid or you don't feel like doing it, you can at least get one piece that is actually good for Jane that you can use. So let's get on to it. My stats for Jane is 414 might. I have 56 proficiency, 285 valor, 67 resolve, and 142 resilience. And for my charge rate, it is 12.8 across the boards. So let's get on to the gear. Now the gear piece for the melee slot, this does come from the regular raid. Now the main thing I actually do use from this is the signature attacks for vibranium. Now of course with Jane, you know, being Thor and having the somewhat same moves as him, she does have that OP hammer spin, and that is probably like the most really good, that's probably the most best move for Thor in the game, to be honest, when it comes to melee. So if you have signature attacks with vibranium, it is super good, and the fact that I got to roll with might, resilience, and valor is even better. So this is my first slot. Now for my second slot, this does come from the raid as well. I got might and valor. Now I would have liked might, valor, resilience or might, valor, precision, but it is what it is. But I actually do have faultless buff on this piece that is really good for melee crits. I could get a damage buff. Now with the hammer spin, again, it is very easy. You spin the hammer a lot, so it's going to be a chance that you're going to get this to proc with the damage buff. So it is pretty cool. And I got range for my sonic attack, which is all right. You know, I'm not really tripping that much about that. And it got Granton amplification breaker, which is nice, but I don't have the heroic slot for me to actually get a sonic conduit, so it's kind of a wasted spot. I would have liked probably like a leak perk or something like that, but it is what it is. It's not that big of a deal. Now for the chest piece, this does come from the regular raid as well. I got some good stats on this. I have might, resilience, and valor. And the middle perk is actually what all I need. Reverberation breaker. I inflict 25% more damage to enemies that are affected by vibranium status effect, which is really good. It increase, that's a flat out 25% damage increase, so you know, why not have it? Now for the other slot, for the last slot, we do have as Girdle of the Allfather. Now this does drop from villain sectors and vaults or elite vaults. Not vaults, elite hives. I'm tripping, I don't know why I said that. But these perks on here are so good for Jane, it's ridiculous. Now we got rampant supercharge. Now if you guys know about the supercharge thing, it says 3%, but it actually gives you 300%. It increases your recharge for your heroics. Is insane. It's really good, and it's actually easy to get overcharged with Jane, so it's not that much of a problem, to be honest, having this piece. And we got the second slot with the while you have the ultimate activated, defeated enemies with Mjolnir creates a shock explosion, which is pretty cool, especially when it comes to ad clearing. And we have the last slot with God Blast assistance. This is such a this is like really a good perk. Now you guys see it here, enemies hit with God Blast have a percentage chance to drop intrinsic orbs, and the other part that is really good on this, God Blast overcharges teammates in range, so you can actually overcharge your teammates. So this is very good for everybody in the game. You can overcharge all your teammates, and that could give benefits to your teammates so they can actually you know, do more damage or just perform well with it. So it is actually good. Now I will show a clip of me actually overcharging my teammates so you can see it in action. So here it is right here. So you see what I mean? Like, this piece is really good, and I would highly recommend you guys get this. So as I stated, it does drop from the villain sectors and hives. So let me showcase it on the screen real quick so you guys can at least see. So it doesn't matter any villain sector in the game, you can actually get this piece to drop. It doesn't matter. I would say the best part to farm it is when you have an elite villain sector, because an elite villain sector has a guaranteed drop for you to get the exotic to drop for you every single time. Now you have to have the mission chain for it. Now unfortunately I did complete it, so I did get the I had the mission chain, but once I completed it and got my exotic, it went away. But you can still farm these villain sectors and get that exotic to drop for you. So that is what I have right there when it comes to that. And let me showcase the hives too, because it's any hive that you can do and it drops that set, since it is a part of I think it's the technical set, if I remember correctly, that Alex made for these sets. No, it's a classic set. Okay, so it's the classic set for the heroic slot that I do have for Jane. So that is what I have for right there. Now let's get on to my minor artifacts. Now my minor artifacts I do actually have is the Northstone or the Fearless, which gives me faultless vibranium payload. So I give a percent chance that melee crits will activate a vibranium payload. Now this is very good for a melee build for Jane. It really works well since you got the hammer spin, and the hammer spin does a lot of damage and it hits a lot of times too. So there's going to be that chance of it critting. And I have might and proficiency on it. Now the way I got this, the area that I did get this, since it is corrupted vibranium event going on right now, if you complete any corrupted vibranium threat sectors, it's actually a chance of you getting the raid minor artifacts to drop for you. So let me showcase it right here. So we have the corrupted vibranium threat sector right here. You guys see the event rewards. It's the Northstone. So you will get this every single time. So it's not a single completion, you get the minor artifact and it's gone. You can complete this as many times as you want to, and you will get a minor artifact to drop. Now it is a grind to get the perfect roll, and it's only for the corrupted vibranium event right now. So I would say right now is the best time to do it before it goes away, because once it goes away, the only way you're going to be able to obtain this is from the raid. So, and you know how the raid is when it comes to being buggy, and how to get lucky to get that to drop for you. So yeah, I would say just do that right now. Now my preferred role would be Might, Resolve, and Valor, but we don't, I didn't get lucky with it, or Might, Valor, and Proficiency, but it is what it is. I've been trying to farm that for this piece a lot. Like you can see how many times I've been trying to get it. It has not been dropping for me at all. I have all these pieces with the vibranium crit with melee, so it is insane trying to get that to drop with perfect stats. Now the other slot we do have is the triple might ISO with signature attack increase. Since we're doing the hammer spin, and the hammer spin is a signature attack, we get a damage increase right there. Now there is an offline date for you to actually get that. I think I will probably post it in the comments so you guys can actually see it and go to it. It's very easy to do. Just go offline and put the date on that will have in the comments if I put it on there, and just go to the vendor and it will be there. I think it was in the anthill, so that's how you're able to get that. And for the major artifact, I actually used 3. I used the Tactigun, I used the Northstone, and I used the Ring of Nebulon. Now for the Tactigun, I use this for just basic, just overall gameplay. And when I get to bosses, I use the Northstone to pop that and get that damage increase. And for the Ring of Nebulon, this is somewhat like I use it sometimes, like say for instance, like when I get a lot of heroic orbs around me and I don't have my I'm not overcharged, so I can get that huge percentage to get my abilities back. If I don't have that, I just quickly swap on the Ring of Nebulon and get the heroic orb so I can get my abilities back fast. Then I just swap back to either the Tactigun or the Northstone, depending on what I'm doing. But that is what I have overall for my gear, minor artifacts, and major artifacts. Let's get on to the skills. Alright, so let's get on to the skills for Jane. Now, she pretty much has the same skills as Thor when it comes to the support and assault, so it's pretty much the same, but I will go over it. Now, I have Ymir's Wrath, where I could give a damage boost to my allies, and I have Asgard's Fortune. Now, Asgard's Fortune actually does work, so it depending on your allies or you that's affected by Warrior's Fury, it will drop a 50% chance dropping a heroic orb. So it is really good to have this on. Now you can change it to anything that you want to, but for now this is just what I use for here. Now for the God Blast, I have the Daughter of Midgard. I have the Daughter of Midgard. I don't know why I said that, but we have that one right there. If you know about the triple God Blast, you know. And for this one, I have Rolling Thunder. Defeating enemies with God Blast refunds 5% of the assault heroic energy. So this is really good right here. Now, when we get to the ultimate, this is completely different. Her ultimate is so insane, bro. I'm telling y'all, bro, that her ultimate is really, really good. I would say for the ultimate, use Raw Uru. Now it does actually apply shock status instantly, like a Hawkeye's arrow, how it instantly applies it with the twin talons. It's the same thing like this for Jane's ultimate. Now this is really good when it comes to single target damage when it comes to bosses, because once it applies the shock on the enemy or the boss, I guess you could say, say for instance you got vibranium or something like that, or a positive status effect, it will keep hitting that enemy with the battery damage since it's applying shock damage. So this is actually really, really good. The person that put me on with this is Tricks Ridiculous. He came in on my stream and told me to use it, and once I used it and I saw how crazy it was, I instantly just like fell in love with this perk right here. So it is really good to have Raw Uru. Now the other part we have right here is right here with the enemies defeated by, I'm not about to say that name, but it has a 30% chance to drop a heroic orb. Now that is a huge percentage and it's really good on Jane, so I would recommend using this one. Now once we get to the mastery, now the mastery is whatever you want to pick, but for me I have increased impact, where it increased the impact on signature attacks to make it more interruptible for enemies. Now of course, you know, I'm doing the signature with the hammer spin, so that is very good to have right there. You can use whatever when it comes to this one. I just use combo damage just because sometimes I use combo finishers, and for this one with the takedowns, you know, we got the heroic orb with the takedown. For range, I use targeted range. Now this is actually pretty good. For some reason, Jane, it really has like aimbot with her hammer. Now of course it's sticking true to the comics, because Jane does actually have more control over the hammer than Thor, so it is pretty nice with targeting range. It is really good. I have high velocity for increase the throw and the recall speed, and I do have the All Mother's Favor. I use this for the beam, but it really doesn't really matter with this one. As I stated, like when it comes to these, you could pick whatever when it comes to the combat and range. Now let's get into the intrinsic ability. Now we have Iconic Bolts. Now this is really good, defeating enemies while All Mother's Blessing is active. It strikes nearby targets with lightning. So this is really good to have right here. It is very good for ag clearing as well. We have this one at the bottom with Surging Force, increase the automatic regen speed of the intrinsic by 12%. So that's good to have right there once you run out. And we do have it right here with Charge Flight. This really does, it's not really all that, to be honest. You don't really have to worry about this, but we do have this one right here with, when it comes to the overcharge. Now the overcharge highly benefits range over melee, but you have to do melee to actually get overcharged. And with, you know, Jane doing melee, you can actually get overcharged really fast and very easily. So it is pretty dope. Now for the melee build for Jane with her intrinsic overcharge, we're going to do charge duration to have a longer duration of God Tempest, and we're going to have this piece right here where it where it instantly refills our intrinsic meter, increases the intrinsic regen by 25% while you're overcharged, which is pretty nice. And we do have, is the last one with Goddess Fist, increase the melee attacks by 15% while God Tempest is activated. So that is what we are rocking for the intrinsic overcharge. That's what we're rocking for overall, what we have in mastery. Now let's go into the champion skills. Now the champion skills is pretty much the same. You just go spec into critical damage boost, you spec into crit chance, you spec into heroic charge rate, and you spec into perk chance and fortification. Now you can do whatever. After you get these 4 filled out, or 5 I guess you could say, you can just spec into whatever, to be honest, after that, because, you know, everything else really doesn't matter. It's just only these 5 that is actually good when it comes to building in the champion skills. But yeah, that is pretty much it when it comes to Jane. So as I stated before, this is just a beginning build. This is like perfectly what I like with Jane right now. So once I get to 175, if things change with the elite gear, I will keep you guys updated on that one. But for right now, this is my Jane build and what I'm really rocking with right now. But yeah, I will let some gameplay clips roll out with me fighting the OLT boss and fighting, you know, just some villains. If I can, I'll probably throw in a raid clip in there as well if I get some clips with that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But that's the end of today's video. Let me know if you guys have any questions on when it comes to any, you know, thing that you need help on. I will try to respond to you guys and just give you guys your answers. But that is the end of today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as I enjoyed making it. But before we head out, if you guys are not, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to turn on post notifications as a video and also be notified when I upload a video. And most importantly, make sure you hit that like button. Now I do live stream on Twitch. So if you guys want to come out to the Twitch streams, the link is below for the Twitch. We be going crazy over there, man. I'm telling you, missing out if you're not there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, I will see you guys later. I'm about to let the gameplay roll out and you guys can see the clips and I'm gone. Peace.
Let's show them how it's